The chamber of the Galactic Council was vast, built of black stone and glowing silver. Stars shone through the great dome above, giving the illusion that the Council ruled not only the galaxy, but the heavens themselves. Rows of alien delegates sat in silence, their strange eyes fixed on the center floor. A deep voice echoed through the chamber. "Bring in the humans." The heavy doors opened. From the shadows stepped a group of humans, dressed not in colorful robes like the aliens, but in plain dark uniforms. Their boots struck the floor with sharp sound, each step steady, each movement controlled. No bowing, no hesitation. Whispers broke out among the alien seats. "Arrogant creatures," hissed a tall alien with 4 eyes and a silver crest. "They don't even kneel," muttered another, its skin glowing faintly blue. At the center, the council speaker rose. His body was tall and insect-like, wings folded neatly behind his back. His eyes glowed red as he spoke. "Humans of Earth, you have been summoned to answer for your crimes." The human leader, a woman with calm eyes and a strong voice, stepped forward. She looked small compared to the towering aliens, but there was no fear in her face. "Crimes?" she asked. "We have broken no law." The speaker slammed his claw against the stone table. "You have grown too fast. You build fleets without permission. You research weapons beyond your rank. The balance of the galaxy trembles because of you." A roar of agreement came from the alien delegates. Some banged their staffs, others hissed or shouted. The noise shook the hall like a storm. But the humans did not flinch. Another alien, with a serpent's body and golden eyes, rose. "Earth is young. Earth must obey. Give your fleets to the Council. Hand over your research. Submit, and you may survive." The human leader's voice was calm, almost soft. "We will share knowledge. We will trade, but we will not surrender." The words fell into the hall like a thunderclap. For a moment there was silence. Then chaos exploded. "Defiance! Arrogant primitives! They insult the Council!" The speaker's red eyes blazed. "You dare stand against us? Do you not see the power before you? The Council commands 1,000 worlds. You are nothing but one planet, fragile and weak." The human delegation stood quietly, as if carved from stone. The leader spoke again, her tone steady. "We know who we are. We know what we have built. We will not kneel to fear." Gasps rippled through the chamber. Even those who hated humans leaned forward, shocked by such boldness. One alien, old and wrinkled with skin like ash, whispered to the Council. Beside him, "Do you see their eyes? They are not afraid." The speaker rose higher on his insect legs, towering over the humans. "Then hear this. The Council will act. Earth will be cut from the stars. No trade, no travel, no protection. Any ship bearing your flag will be hunted down. You will be alone until your pride is broken." The humans exchanged glances, but not fear, only resolve. The leader said quietly, "We have been alone before." Her words struck like a hidden blade. The Council remembered history, how Earth had once stood alone during its wars, how humans had rebuilt from ashes again and again. A cold unease touched even the strongest voices in the chamber. Still, the speaker pressed forward. "You do not understand the weight of your decision. Without us, you will wither. Without us, you will fall." The human leader raised her head, her voice echoing clear and sharp. "Without freedom, we are already fallen." For the first time, the mighty council hall was silent. Aliens who had mocked now stared in disbelief. Some whispered nervously, among themselves. Others clenched their claws or fists, their anger boiling. A tall alien with crystal skin stood, his voice trembling. "If Earth defies us, there will be war." The human leader turned her gaze toward him. "Then war will find us ready." Her words were not shouted. They were spoken calmly, like truth that could not be bent. The council speaker raised his claws high. "You will regret this. The Council does not forgive. The Council does not forget." The human delegation turned to leave. Their footsteps echoed against the chamber walls, steady and unbroken. Not one looked back, Dot. As the heavy doors closed behind them, silence fell once more. Every alien in the hall felt the same strange chill. These humans, so small, so few, had spoken as if they carried the weight of giants. The speaker tried to break the tension. They will bow when their world burns. But his voice lacked the certainty it once had. In the shadows of the chamber, whispers began to spread. Some delegates asked quietly, "What if they are stronger than we know? What if Earth is not alone at all?" No answer came. Outside the council's hall, the human leader and her companions walked into the starlit corridor. One of the younger delegates whispered, "Do you think they will attack us soon?" The leader's eyes narrowed. "Yes, and that is exactly what we are counting on." For a moment, silence hung in the air between them. Then, slowly, each human nodded. Their calm faces held something hidden, something the council had not seen. It was not arrogance. It was preparation. The chamber of the Galactic Council had not been this loud in centuries. The moment the humans walked out, the delegates erupted. Voices clashed, claws struck tables, and strange tongues filled the air with anger. "They spit on our laws," shouted the serpent-bodied alien with golden eyes. "They insult the council itself," hissed the insect speaker, his red eyes burning. "They must be crushed," growled a massive beast with tusks longer than a man's arm. But not all voices agreed. In the far rows, softer words spread like smoke. "They stood without fear," murmured an alien with crystal skin. "No race has ever spoken so boldly," whispered another. "Maybe they are not as weak as we think." The speaker slammed the floor with his claw, silencing the chaos. "Enough! These humans test us. They think they can stand alone against the council. They must be reminded of their place." From the shadows, a smaller alien with pale green skin rose slowly. His voice trembled as he spoke. "But speaker, punishment may not be so simple. Do you not wonder why they were so calm? Perhaps Earth has more strength than we know." Laughter broke across the chamber. A tall figure with wings of fire leaned forward. "Strength? They are children playing at war. We rule thousands of worlds. They are only one." "But the green," alien's voice pressed on. "Children who do not fear giants often have hidden blades." The speaker's red eyes narrowed. "Do you suggest the council is in danger?" "No," the alien said carefully. "But I suggest caution. If we move too quickly, others may see the humans as heroes. Their defiance may inspire rebellion." The room grew tense. For a brief moment, even the loudest voices fell silent. They all knew the truth. Many worlds under council control hated the chains they wore. If humans could defy openly, others might rise behind them. The speaker straightened his body to full height. "Then we must act with wisdom, not just with war, but with fear. Let the galaxy see what happens to those who defy us. We will starve Earth, we will isolate them. And if they still resist, we will burn their skies." The delegates struck their staffs in agreement. The plan was decided. Far from the council chamber, in a silent corner of the massive station, two alien envoys whispered privately. Their robes were heavy, their voices hushed. "Did you see the humans' eyes?" one asked nervously. "They were not afraid at all." "They are hiding something," the other agreed. "No race faces the council so calmly unless they know something we do not." "Do we tell the speaker?" The first shook his head. "No. If humans fall, nothing changes. But if they rise, perhaps it is safer to stand near them." The two figures slipped into the shadows, unseen. Meanwhile, in a quiet chamber reserved for private judgment, the speaker met with his closest circle. The walls glowed faintly red, the air heavy with the scent of iron. A winged alien asked, "Will you send the fleets now?" The speaker shook his head. "Not yet. First, we cut them off. No ships to Earth, no trade, no resources. They will beg for help within months. Another alien, her voice sharp as steel, hissed, and if they do not beg? Then, the speaker said slowly, we send a fleet, not to destroy, but to remind. A demonstration of what waits for them. Their courage will shatter when their ships burn. The circle nodded, but one asked quietly, what if it does not? The speaker paused, his claws tapped against the table. For the first time, his voice lacked complete certainty. Then humanity will learn why no one dares to defy us. And if they survive, then we will face something far more dangerous than we imagined. Back on Earth, the human leader sat with her delegation inside their dark ship, leaving the council station far behind. The others spoke in low voices, but she remained silent, her eyes fixed on the stars. They will cut us off, said one. No trade, no help. The planets we work with will abandon us. They will send warships, said another. The council cannot accept defiance without blood. At last, the leader spoke. Let them come. The youngest delegate looked at her, worry in his eyes. Do you really think we can fight them? She smiled faintly, but her voice was cold. We do not need to fight them. We only need to show the galaxy that we are not afraid. Once that seed is planted, it will grow in the dark places of every world they control. The room fell silent. Each human knew what she meant. Defiance was not just survival. It was hope, and hope could be more dangerous than weapons. Back in the council's hall, the speaker rose once more to address the full assembly. His voice thundered across the chamber. Let the record show, Earth has rejected our command. From this day forward, the humans are cut from the stars. No trade, no ships. Any who help them will share their fate. The word spread like fire. Messengers carried the decree to every corner of the galaxy. Traders panicked. Neighboring worlds turned away from Earth fearing punishment. Ships that once docked freely now kept their distance. But as the council celebrated its decision, unease lingered. Why did they not beg? Whispered one delegate. Why did they not plead for mercy? Asked another. They wanted this, a third muttered. They wanted us to strike first. The thought chilled them more than any human weapon could. As Earth's ship drifted into the silence of space, the human leader looked once more at the stars. They think isolation will break us, she said softly, but they forget. Humanity was born in isolation, and we learned long ago how to turn silence into strength. Her words hung in the air, heavy with promise. For, in the shadows of the galaxy, something stirred. Not fear, not weakness, but the quiet beginning of a storm. The council believed Earth would soon break. Worlds were closing their gates, traders avoided human ships, and communication lines grew silent. To most of the galaxy, it looked as if Earth was standing on the edge of collapse. But deep in the black, far from the eyes of alien spies, humanity was not collapsing. It was preparing. Beneath the surface of the moon, hidden hangars stretched for miles. Massive doors opened silently, revealing shapes that no alien had ever seen. Ships, sleek and sharp, their hulls black as night, stirred in the darkness. They were built not to be shown, but to strike when no one expected. In one of the hangars, the human leader stood with a group of engineers and officers. The air smelled of oil and steel. Sparks flew as workers tightened the last plates onto the hull of a massive warship. How many are ready? She asked. An officer in a grey uniform replied, 12 battle cruisers, fully armed, another 20 fast-attack ships, and dozens of drones waiting for command. The leader's eyes narrowed. And the drives? The engineer, a woman with grease on her hands, smiled faintly. Faster than light, but not like the council's. Ours are sharper, quicker. They'll never track us the way they track each other. Silence followed her words. The council believed humans were struggling just to keep up. They had no idea Earth had taken a different path, one the aliens had overlooked. Another officer spoke. Council ships are powerful, yes, but they are predictable. They've been using the same tactics for centuries. They don't change. The leader's voice was quiet but firm. And we do. Far away in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, another secret waited. Dozens of hollowed asteroids, invisible to passing ships, hid weapons powerful enough to burn fleets, cannons longer than skyscrapers, torpedo silos buried under layers of rock, satellites linked together in webs, ready to blind enemy sensors. Young soldiers stared out of the command post window at the stars. "Do you think the Council knows?" His commander shook his head. "If they did, they'd already be here. No, they think we're weak, broken. That is their mistake." The soldier swallowed hard. "But when they come," the commander's eyes hardened, "when they come, they will learn what humans become when cornered." Back on Earth, the leader addressed her council of advisors. In a hidden chamber beneath the surface, the room was dim, the table carved from stone, the walls lined with screens showing the movements of council fleets across the galaxy. "They will send a demonstration fleet," she said. "Not there. Full power, not yet. They want to frighten us, not destroy us. They will expect us to panic. We cannot waste that chance." One of her advisors frowned. "If we reveal too much, they will know our strength," she nodded. "Then we show just enough. We strike, but we do not reveal everything. Let them wonder what else we are hiding." Another advisor asked quietly, "And if their fleet is stronger than we think?" The leader leaned forward, her voice steady. "Then we remind them of one truth they always forget. Humans do not stop. Even when we fall, we rise again." The room fell silent. Each advisor knew the risk, each knew the cost, but none spoke against her. Far beyond Earth, whispers spread across the galaxy. Traders spoke in hushed tones. "I heard, Earth has weapons no one has seen. Impossible. They barely learned faster than light travel. And yet they do not bow. Why? Fear and curiosity traveled faster than ships. For every world that turned from Earth in fear of the Council, there were two that began to watch more closely. In dark corners of space, rebels and exiles repeated the same thought. If humans can resist, maybe we can too. In the Council's war chamber, the speaker stood before a vast star map. Bright points marked the worlds of the Council, glowing in steady order. Only one point flickered in defiance. "Earth. Send the fleet," he commanded. 100 ships, enough to crush their pride, not their planet. Let them taste fear. A general bowed. "At once, Speaker." But as the generals left, the pale green alien from before whispered to the speaker, "Be careful. The humans are not as weak as you believe." The speaker's eyes flared red. "If they have claws, we will break them. If they have teeth, we will pull them out. No race defies us and survives." Yet even as he spoke, doubt lingered in the back of his mind. He remembered the human leader's eyes, calm, steady, unshaken. On the far side of the moon, the first human fleet slowly powered up. Engines glowed faint blue, weapons armed, shields came online. The warships hung in silence, hidden by black paint and the shadow of space. An officer turned to the leader. "The Council ships will arrive within days. Orders?" The leader stared at the stars for a long moment. Her voice was calm. "Let them come close. Let them believe we are unprepared. Then show them the storm we've built in silence." Her officers exchanged looks. Some were tense, others eager, but all understood. The youngest among them whispered, "They think we are weak." The leader's gaze hardened, "And that is why they will never see the strike until it is too late." The Council believed Earth was alone, cornered and broken. But in the silence of space, in the shadows of rock and steel, humanity had built something far greater than survival. They had built a secret weapon. Not just in their fleets. Not just in their hidden guns, but in their will. And soon, the galaxy would learn what that weapon truly meant. The sky above Earth was quiet. But deep in space, war was already moving. The Council's fleet arrived like a storm. 100 ships slipped out of faster-than-light travel, their silver hulls gleaming against the darkness. Cruisers, destroyers, and carriers filled the void, their weapons armed and ready. From the flagship, the alien commander spoke with cold certainty. Humans will learn respect. We will not destroy them. We will break their pride. His second-in-command hissed in agreement. They think themselves clever. Soon they will crawl back to the Council. The order was given. The fleet began its slow approach toward Earth. On the dark side of the moon, the hidden human fleet waited in silence. Engines were cold, shields inactive, their black hulls invisible against the void. Inside the command deck of Earth's flagship, the leader stood with her officers. "They're here," said the sensor officer, his voice tight. 100 ships. Formation is wide. They want to intimidate. The leader nodded. "And they think we are blind. Let them." The young officer at her side shifted uneasily. "If they fire first, they won't," she interrupted. "They came to frighten, not to burn, and that is why they will fail." Her voice carried calm certainty, though every officer felt the weight of what was coming. The Council fleet advanced. Their ships lit the void with energy signatures, scanning for hidden weapons or defenses. To them, Earth looked quiet, vulnerable, exposed. The alien commander sneered. "They hide behind silence. Weakness has many shapes." But suddenly, a young technician on the Council flagship gasped. "Commander! Reading! Movement!" Before he could finish, the void around the moon seemed to shift. Black shapes peeled away from the shadows. One by one, Earth's warships revealed themselves, like predators stepping out of the dark. The alien commander froze. "Impossible!" Dozens of human ships, sleek and sharp, surrounded the Council fleet from every side. Their engines glowed faint blue, weapons humming with restrained energy. The human leader's voice cut across the Council's channels, calm and steady. "You came to teach us fear. Allow us to return the lesson." The Council commander snarled. "Primitive fools, fire!" The first clash began in silence. Human ships moved faster than Council sensors could track. They darted between heavy cruisers, their black hulls almost invisible against the stars. "Target acquired," whispered a human pilot. "Fire!" Beams of white light slashed through space. A Council destroyer shuddered, its shields tearing apart. A heartbeat later, it exploded, fragments scattering into the void. On the Council flagship, alarms screamed. "Their weapons! Cutting through our shields!" shouted an officer. The commander roared, "Form the line! Surround them!" But the line never formed. Human ships were not fighting like the Council. They moved unpredictably, appearing, striking, vanishing back into shadows. Every time the Council thought they had them cornered, the humans were already behind them. Inside the human flagship, the officers watched the battle unfold. "They're panicking," said the tactical officer, eyes on the screen. "They don't understand our movement patterns." The leader's voice was firm. "Do not get reckless. Strike fast, then fade. Make them fear the space itself." Her words were obeyed. A pair of human cruisers darted forward, releasing torpedoes into the heart of the Council formation. Explosions bloomed like fireflowers, lighting up the void. The Council commander slammed his claws against the armrest. How can this be? They're ships. They should not move like this." His second-in-command whispered, fear creeping into his voice. "They were waiting for us. This was no accident. This was a trap." On one side of the battle, a young human pilot's voice came over the comms. "First squadron clear. Enemy cruisers falling back." Another voice replied, "They're trying to regroup. Should we press?" The leader's voice cut through. "No, let them retreat. The message is already written in fire." Her officers turned to her, uncertain. "We're letting them go?" She nodded. "Yes, fear spreads faster than destruction. Let them carry the story back." In the Council flagship, The alien commander finally gave the order he had sworn never to give. "Retreat! All ships, retreat!" The fleet broke formation, fleeing back into faster-than-light travel. Dozens of ships were gone, destroyed in moments. Those that remained carried scars across their hulls, their pride shattered more than their steel. As silence returned to the stars, the human fleet powered down weapons. No victory cheers were raised, no celebration. Only silence, steady and controlled. Inside Earth's flagship, the young officer whispered, We beat them. They had more ships, more power, and we still," the leader's calm voice cut in. "Do not celebrate. This was only the beginning. The council will not forgive. Next time they will come with everything." The room fell quiet. The officers knew she was right, but beneath the silence a spark had been lit, a quiet pride. Stronger than fear. Far away in the council chamber, chaos erupted. Delegates screamed at each other. A fleet lost to one planet. They struck first. No, they were defending. Lies! No race could build ships like that in secret. The speaker rose, his voice sharp and furious. "Silence! They dared to humiliate us. Very well. If they wish for war, then war they shall have." But in the shadows, whispers spread. Some delegates muttered, "The humans defeated a council fleet. If they can stand, why not us?" And for the first time in centuries, cracks appeared in the council's iron grip. Back aboard the human flagship, the leader stood at the viewing window, watching the stars burn faintly. "They think this was victory," she said softly. "But this was only a warning. The true storm is yet to come." Her officers looked at her in silence, and in that silence, each of them understood. The galaxy had changed tonight. News traveled faster than light. By the time the council fleet limped back into safe space, the galaxy already knew. 100. Ships sent to crush Earth, nearly half destroyed, the rest fleeing scarred and broken. No world had seen such a thing in centuries. The council was power, the council was order, the council was unchallenged. But now, one small planet had struck them down and lived. In shadowed bars, on distant stations, whispers began. "Did you hear? The humans won." "Not possible. The council never loses." "Then explain why their fleet came back burning." "Maybe the humans have weapons stronger than the council." For the first time, doubt spread across the stars. And doubt was more dangerous than any gun. Inside the council chamber, chaos ruled. Delegates shouted over one another, their voices filled with rage and fear. "They ambushed our fleet," cried a scaled alien, his claws digging into the table. "No," hissed another. "They were waiting. This was no accident. They planned it." "Impossible! They are too young, too primitive." "Primitive does not destroy 50 warships in an hour." The speaker rose high on his insect legs, slamming the floor with his claw. The sound silenced the chamber. His red eyes glowed with fury. "Earth has embarrassed us. They humiliated the council before the galaxy. If we allow this to stand, others will rise. We must strike back with full force." A winged delegate shouted in support. "Burn their planet. Leave nothing but ash." But a crystal-skinned alien raised a trembling hand. "If we burn Earth, we prove their words true. They said we are tyrants. They said we rule with fear. If we destroy them, every whisper becomes fire." The chamber broke into argument again. Rage on one side, caution on the other. The council was no longer united. Meanwhile, on a mining station far from council control, exiles gathered in secret. Their voices were low, their eyes bright with something dangerous, hope. "You've heard the news," said one, a scarred reptilian exile. "The humans did what we only dreamed of. They fought the council, and they lived." A bird-like alien leaned closer. "Do you think they would help us?" "Help?" The reptilian's voice turned sharp. "If humans rise, the galaxy changes. The council is not invincible. That is the only help we need." Around the table, heads nodded. For the first time, rebellion no longer felt impossible. Back on Earth, the human leader stood in the war room beneath the surface. Screens showed alien broadcasts, council speeches, and intercepted whispers from across the stars. Her officers gathered around her, tense but proud. "They are panicking," one said. "Worlds are questioning the council. Even their own delegates are divided." Another officer added, "We should press now. Strike their fleets while they hesitate." The leader shook her head. "Not yet. A war of weapons is one thing. A war of ideas is greater. Let the galaxy question. Let them argue. Every day they waste in fear is a victory for us." The youngest officer frowned. "But they will come back, stronger than before." Her eyes were calm. "Of course they will. And when they do, they will not just face us. They will face a galaxy that has already begun to doubt them." In the council's private war chamber, generals gathered around the speaker. The air was heavy with smoke, the walls glowing with the light of star maps. "Our fleets are strong," said one general. "We send 1,000 ships, and Earth burns in days." "Too slow," snapped another. "Every moment we delay, more worlds whisper rebellion." The speaker glared at them. "Then we must move quickly. Strike hard, strike fast. Show the galaxy that Earth was lucky, nothing more." But a pale green advisor spoke carefully. "And if we fail again?" The room fell silent. The question hung like a blade. The speaker's claws clicked against the table. His voice lowered. "Then we lose everything." On a distant colony, a merchant captain argued with his crew. "We cannot trade with Earth," he said nervously. "The council forbids it. They will destroy us." But his first mate shook his head. "And yet humans defeated their fleet. If we side with the council, we stand with fear. If we side with Earth, we stand with the future." The crew murmured agreement. The captain hesitated, but deep down, he knew choosing sides was no longer simple. Back in the human war room, an officer looked at the leader with worry. "Do you think other worlds will actually stand with us?" The leader's voice was steady. "Not at first. Fear is powerful, but every whisper, every doubt, every secret hope, they spread faster than fire. The council cannot fight that with fleets," another officer asked. "And if the council decides to end us before those whispers grow too loud?" The leader turned to the star map. Council fleets glowed red, Earth's hidden ships marked in blue. Her eyes hardened. "Then," she said quietly, "we will show them we are not the ones who should be afraid." In the great halls of the council, the speaker declared his final decision to the assembly. His voice thundered, his wings spread. A wide, "Enough of debate, enough of weakness. The humans have defied us and now they must pay. Prepare the grand fleet. The galaxy will remember who rules." The chamber roared in support, though beneath the noise, fear still whispered. And across the stars, in secret corners and quiet rooms, those whispers grew louder. Some asked, "What if humans can truly fight them?" Others whispered, "What if the council can be broken?" For the first time in living memory, the galaxy trembled, not at the council's power, but at its weakness. And at the center of it all, Earth stood silent, waiting for the storm. The galaxy held its breath. The council had announced its plan. 1,000 warships, the largest fleet in history, would march toward Earth. No world had ever faced such power. To many, the outcome seemed certain. Earth would be crushed, its victory erased, its courage buried under fire. But in the quiet corners of space, something new stirred. Smugglers refused to carry council supplies. Colonies delayed shipments, blaming broken machines. Traders whispered to each other, not about fear, but about humans, about hope. And on Earth, the war room hummed with restless energy. Screens glowed, showing the massive fleet slowly forming near council space. Officers watched, waiting for orders. One of them broke the silence. "We can't fight 1,000 ships. Even with our traps, even with every weapon we have, we cannot win." The leader stood at the center, hands folded behind her back. Her voice was calm but sharp. "We will not fight them the way they expect." A younger officer frowned. "What do you mean?" The leader turned to face the room. "We will not. Wait here for their fleet to come, we will go to them." Gasps filled the room. "That's suicide," another officer said. "They outnumber us 10-1. If we meet them head-on, we're finished." The leader's eyes narrowed. "Not head-on. We strike their heart, not their sword." The officers exchanged confused looks. Then realization spread. The council's fleet was strong, yes, but it was also far from home. Its core worlds were nearly unguarded. "You want to attack their capital?" one officer whispered. The leader nodded. "Exactly. While their eyes are on Earth, we show them their throne is not untouchable. We make them fear." Meanwhile, deep within council territory, the speaker stood aboard his flagship, watching the fleet assemble. Thousands of ships glimmered like a wall of steel. His chest swelled with pride. "Soon," he said, his voice like fire, "the humans will be a warning to all. No one defies us." An advisor bowed. "The galaxy watches, speaker. If we win, they will obey again." The speaker smiled. "And if we lose, there will be no galaxy left to obey, because we will burn it all." He laughed, a sound that carried across the bridge. Cold and cruel dot in the dark of space, a small human strike force slipped through hidden routes, unseen by the massive council fleet. Inside the command ship, the leader briefed her officers one last time. "We are not here to win a battle. We are here to shatter belief. Every empire lives on the idea it cannot be touched. If we break that idea, the empire itself breaks." One officer whispered, "And if we fail?" The leader looked at him, steady as stone. "Then we make sure they remember we dared." The strike began without warning. Human ships emerged from the void, above the council's shining capital world. Alarms screamed. Citizens looked up in terror as explosions lit the skies. Defense platforms fired, but the humans moved like shadows, striking and vanishing, weaving. Chaos through the system. Inside the capital, the council chambers shook as blasts echoed across the city. Delegates screamed, scattering in panic. "They're here," a delegate cried. "The humans are here." The speaker's eyes widened with fury as he received the news. "Impossible! The fleet is nowhere near them. They should be trapped on Earth." But it was true. Earth had not waited. Earth had brought the war to the council's heart. Messages raced across the galaxy. Smugglers, traders, soldiers, rebels, all of them heard the same impossible thing. Humans had attacked the council. Capital. And something changed. The whispers that once trembled with fear now rose with fire. "If humans can strike the council itself, maybe we can too." The council is not a god. It can bleed. The age of fear is ending. Worlds that had stayed silent began to stir. Hidden groups began to rise. The galaxy shifted. Back at the capital, the speaker roared at his generals. "Crush them, destroy them now." But the generals hesitated. Reports came faster than orders. Multiple explosions in the defense. "Ring! Civilian transports fleeing the system. Rebel groups inside the city are attacking." The humans had not come alone. Their strike had awakened every buried spark of rebellion. The capital itself was breaking apart. The speaker slammed his claw against the table. "I don't care. If the city burns, I want the humans dead." But even he could see it. The humans had already won something greater than victory. They had broken the illusion. On the command deck of the human flagship, the leader watched the chaos unfold on her screen. One officer whispered, awe in his voice. "We actually did it. The council is falling apart." But the leader did not smile. Her eyes were cold, sharp with understanding. "This is only the beginning. Empires do not die in a day. The council will strike back harder than ever." "Then why attack?" the officer asked softly. Her gaze stayed on the burning capital. because we showed the galaxy that fear can be broken, and once fear is broken, nothing can hold forever. Across the stars, a new truth spread faster than light. The Council was not untouchable. And from that moment, the galaxy was no longer the same. For the first time in 1,000 years, the Council feared, and for the first time, humanity was not alone.